Well, we have a very special guest with us today. Kakenya Ntaiya is the Vital Voices Global Leadership Award honoree. She has been named a top 10 finalist for CNN Hero of the Year, and she's going to tell us about her life-changing journey to make a difference in girls' education in Kenya. Hey, welcome, Ntaiya.
Welcome.
Thank you.
Should I say Suba?
Eva.
Yes, good to see you. First, I looked at your story and you look like you've been a negotiator all your life. How did this come up? How did you learn to negotiate through life? With your parents, with your elders of your village? How did this come up?
I didn't have many options when
Yes.
I grew up, so the best was to push buttons and to see what happens.
Yes.
And so it started when I was young, going to high school, that's when really when I faced my dad and asked him if he would let me give an option, give me to go to school. I knew that if I asked, the worst he could say is no, which was the only. So it was already worst. So if he said no, that's fine.
Yeah, and just to give it a little background, you come from a community, the Maasai community, where girls don't generally go to school. They're actually given up in marriage very early in life.
Yes, my community, we believe that the most thing that a girl can become is a mother and a wife. So you're trained from a very early age to know how to become a wife. So from cleaning the house, washing dishes, everything that will prepare you to become a perfect wife as soon as you reach puberty. So I was engaged when I was 5 years old. I grew up knowing that so-and-so was my husband, and everything I did was to prepare me to become a wife to him. I went to school because kids are going to school, and also my mom was denied an education, and she always told me that if she went to school, she would have been a different person. So she really helped us go to school, and that's what made a difference in my life.
Now, in addition to really fulfilling your obligation to your village, to your parents, you went to school, you came here to the United States, you got your PhD, and then you actually went back now to your village and you are helping educate more girls.
Yes, because when I grew up from the village, I didn't know that girls or children have rights to go to school. I didn't know that it's against the law to be married before you're 18 years old. It was part of the culture. So when I came to America and learned about these laws and knew that we don't address them in the school system in Kenya, and so I thought, there are so many other girls who in the community were getting married and at an early age, and I wanted to go back and give them and make them aware of what I have became aware of. So I knew that education had made a difference in my life. So I wanted to give them an education. That's where I built a school for girls.
And I thought it's curious. I know Maasai girls who've gone to school.
Yes.
And they take up professions that become so many things, including doctors and teachers. For a few of them, though, what made you want to go back and also help other girls? Why didn't you just concentrate on your life?
For me, it looked like it was a calling. That from my community, I was the first to be out and the first to learn that girls had rights. And then every time I went back, they were getting married. Every time I went back, they were going through the female genital cutting, which is a horrible practice. And their dreams were being shattered. And some of these people, my best friend got married when we were in class 6. And so she had many, many children, and we remained friends throughout. We are friends up to now. But to look at her and the life she was living, it was very difficult. So to me, it was more about helping those who needed the help. And it was the only thing that could make me happy and to give them hope and to work for my community especially.
But now also you have a challenge of trying to ensure that the culture of the Maasai people is maintained, while at the same time bringing what you've learned in the Western world to better the lives. How do you juggle that, and how do you make sure that you don't seem to be abandoning or even criticizing what has been practices in your community for years?
I think cultures change. And my culture has certainly changed for many years. I think what I always tell my people is that let's adapt what is valuable. Beadwork, we do beadwork, which is a very valuable work. We do storytelling with children, and we do that in the school system. We do things that are valuable, but practices such as female genital cutting, which when you ask the elders, don't even know where it came from. They're like, oh, we just used to practice it, and they don't really have any backbone of where it came from. So such kind of cultures, we tend to, we tell them it's
And before we run out of time, very quickly, I noticed that you did not decide to rebel against your community and your culture. You decided to be negotiating with the elders, with everybody else. Do you think this is a more beneficial way of approaching some of these changes?
I think if you rebel against something, you're not welcome into the community. And for me, I know that my people, the more you provide them with information, they actually end up making the right decisions. You know, telling the dad that let their daughter go to school, it will benefit them at the end. And this is something every father wants to be proud of. So rebelling is not really an option for me. I think we can talk and understand each other. We can negotiate and expand our barrier, our boundaries, and make a difference. Because I really want them to own the whole crop.
You know.
So you will come back when you win the CNN award.
Yes, when you win, you come and tell us about it. You know, our thanks to Kakenya Ntaiya for joining us today. She is a Vital Voices Global Leadership Honoree, and she is also in the running for CNN Hero of the Year.